representing all 7 colleges today. We're very excited here to be here with you and, get to meet you. A fun fact about me, I am from Mexico City. I lived in Mexico City till I was like 9 years old. I am a first-gen student, and, had to learn how to navigate through this new stuff in a new country. So yes, I'm very excited to be here with you, and I'm gonna pass it to my colleague, Amado.
Hi there, everyone. So my name is Amado. I am an advisor at Warren College, and I'm actually a UCSD alum from Marshall College. I am also first generation, and I'm originally from Oakland, California, in the Bay Area. So yeah, all right, keep moving forward.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, how am I going to navigate through UCSD and all the advising I have to go through, right? It seems overwhelming, but luckily for you, you have an entire team that can help you with advising at UCSD. It can be overwhelming, right? Because you're wondering, well, where do I go? Well, it is a decentralized advising system. So to give you a little bit of overview, we as college advisors, we oversee college GE courses and university requirements. Your college academic advising office is your main contact at UCSD and typically your first stop. So if you are ever overwhelmed or you're like, you know what, I have this question, where do I go? We like to tell you that you start with us and we'll refer you to the appropriate person or office. And the reason why too, right, even though we may not be the experts, but we may have some info that goes hand in hand. So for example, if you're wondering, hey, I have a financial aid question. Yes, we're gonna refer you to the financial aid office, but we may have a little insight that may tie to academics. So always start with us and we can go from there. So just to remind you, in order to graduate, all students need to complete major general education requirements that we refer to as GEs and university requirements. And like I mentioned earlier, if we don't have the answers, we'll get you the best referral to get you the expert answer. We have various advising services across campus. So some of those are, your major department. Those are going to be very specific to your major. They're the specialist in planning for your major, and they're also an excellent resource. They can connect you with other alumni, or if you're interested in doing research. I'd like to emphasize that the main structure of your academic planning is determined by your major, and the college puts the final puzzle together. The reason why is because a lot of the times your major, they're going to have certain prereqs, or the majority of the courses are not offered every quarter. So we kind of like to give them priority. And then with GEs, there's a little bit more flexibility where we can plug them in, but it's a team, right? And yeah, like I said earlier, we put the final puzzle piece together. So some of the other offices you might see on campus are career services, the academic internship program, the International Center, financial aid. Another favorite of mine is teaching, learning, and comments. So, take advantage of them. And if you're wondering, hey, could you go over those services with me? Would be happy to connect. When you come visit us, we can talk about the different offices and what services they offer. So my colleague Amado is now going to talk about more in depth of what is the college advisor versus a major advisor.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about a little bit more in depth in terms of just what Lydia just covered. So oftentimes when you come and meet with us, you'll hear us refer you to either your major advisor or college advisor. College advisors can help you with, as mentioned, understanding and planning those GEs and university requirements, learning more about university policies and deadlines that you all have to be aware of, make informed decisions about your academic situation before one of those deadlines approaches, connecting to campus resources that can help you reach your goals, to help you clarify your long-term educational goals and interests as well, to explore majors and to be able to find one. So, some may not be sure about what your major of choice or the major that you came in with. Maybe you're thinking about making a quick major change. After taking a couple of classes, that's where we can come in and have the conversation about maybe some of the other options that you may have. And in general, get things back on track, right? So life happens. We just went through a whole year and a half of different things, the pandemic, and that was very unforeseen. And even during the pandemic, I'm sure things have happened for many folks. And so when those things happen, we want to make sure that we are available to you to help you plan out your time here, maybe, discuss what your options are, taking time off, coming back. What does all of that look like for you as a student, and making sure that we have your best interests in mind. Now, for major advisors, what they can help you with is understanding and planning the major requirements, right? So to be able to learn more about different majors within a department, to understand the department policies and procedures, to clarify questions about prerequisites, to connect you to research, internship, and TA opportunities, to provide information about graduate professional school options that the department may offer. Now, so oftentimes, and especially for you all as transfer students, we ask you to start with your major departments. And so to find their contact, you can search the department by going to ucsd.edu. And then once you're on the website, there's a search box and you can just input the name of the department. Once you click search, you'll find that the website will populate. It will be one of the first couple of options. And that's where you can search for the contact information. But right now, you also already have access to them through the new student advising portal. So if you go on there and you go to the ask a question section, you'll be able to ask them questions. And then it'll then eventually transition to the virtual advising center once you've enrolled in classes. The point is we want to see you. We want you to come in and see us, see your major advisors, see your college advisor, just to make sure that you're on the right track, you're on the right path. So now we truly believe that we can help you be successful during your time at UCSD. But in order to do that, we need you to check in with us. So during the academic year, it is recommended that you meet with a college advisor at least 1 to 2 times per quarter in your first year. Each college is going to be accessible a little different. Therefore, keep an eye out for communication from your college representatives on the requirements. College advising sends communication via the Virtual Advising Center, or the VAC, for what we call it for short. So anytime a VAC is created, it does generate an email letting you know that there's an important message for you to check. Therefore, check your UCSD email frequently. Now, you'll see here on the screen a picture. You'll see the college representatives for each of the colleges. So these are likely the folks you'll be receiving communication from. Each of the colleges' website has more information on each of us as well. But keep in mind that you may not always meet with a CASP liaison, but if you'd like to meet with one of us, you can request to meet with us and we can let you know what our availability may be during the academic year. But here you'll see that the representatives are Nell for Rebel, Carla for Muir, Emily for Marshall, myself for Warren. You have Lydia for ERC, Tracy for 6th, and Stephanie for 7th. So these are the folks, again, you may be hearing from, in the next upcoming weeks, and especially during the beginning of the quarter. So I'll transition it back to Lydia.
Yeah, so now that we're getting ready for the fall quarter enrollment, I want to emphasize enough. So on August 2nd, you'll be able to view your enrollment time. So this is going to be different, right? Because On August 2nd, that's not the day you're able to enroll in courses. That's the day that you'll be able to view your appointment and time. So please make sure that you put an alarm on for both, for August 2nd, and also on that day, you'll be able to see, okay, this is going to be the day and time that is allotted for me so that I can pick up my courses. It's very important that you get into that habit so that, you can enroll in courses as fast as you can. So the next one, I'd like to remind you to complete your COMPAS pre-orientation. The deadline is July 30th, so make sure that you do it by that day. And also that you register for orientation. It's mandatory, it's required. The deadline is also July 30th. We're also going to be giving you some enrollment guidance available. This is going to be available on August 6th. Make sure you read it. There's going to be a lot of different examples, a lot of tools that we're going to be sharing with you. And also, as you know, of the back, you're able to communicate with us. So any questions, anything you're wondering, don't hesitate to use that. And again, new student enrollment begins. So as I mentioned earlier, on August 2nd, that's when you're going to see when on, starting August 16th, when it's going to be your appointment and time. So make sure that you put an alarm on there because, it's very important. These dates are automatically generated by the registrar and they're assigned to you. So you want to make sure that you don't miss that. So now we're going to go ahead and take some of your questions. Let me see. Yeah, so you'll be able to see the enrollment time on WebReg. You should be able to see that on there on August 2nd. On Triton Link. So if you go on Triton Link and then under WebReg, you'll be able to see that. So thank you. So Triton Link Tools. And then WebReg. Okay.
Let's see here. So is the class schedule for Fallout right now? Yeah, so the class schedule is already out, and you can, the one thing, be careful right now as you navigate the schedule of classes. So WebReg, Triton Link is kind of like your hub for a lot of tools that you're going to be using, including your degree audit, which gives you a report of your classes, your major, GE, university requirements. You have the catalog that gives you course descriptions for each of our UCSD courses. If you're ever thinking about adding a minor or changing your major, you have the major minor tool. Eventually, once you have full access to the virtual advising center, you'll access it through here. Because again, right now you're accessing it through the new student advising portal. And you're going in and asking questions through there. It'll then eventually transition to the virtual advising center. But this is where you would do that. WebReg for, again, planning your classes, registering, enrollment times, all of that is through here. And you have the schedule of classes. So if you go here, you'll notice that we can search by department, right? So you can search classes, and I'm just going to use my major that I was here. So I was ethnic studies. So as I wanted to see what they offer, I can just click search. And actually I can search multiple departments. So if I just do control and then click, I could search 2 departments at the same time. I can search a bunch of departments at the same time. And then let's say maybe I just wanted to look at the upper division options. So I can just unclick lower division and I hit search. And what this does is then it populates all the courses and what's available. So this is what I mean by just being aware of what it shows, right? Because again, right now for Econ 100A here, for example, it says that it's already waitlisted and there's only 33 seats available. Some departments, or many of our departments, are holding seats for you all as incoming students. So these numbers aren't accurately reflected. So yes, you can see when they're being offered, where they're going to be offered, who's teaching it, but don't 100% rely on this at this point because these numbers may change once enrollment opens up for everybody. So just be aware of that. But yeah, you can search it.
Okay, next question. Will we be available? Will we be able to schedule a Zoom appointment with an advisor? Yes, you will be able to. However, it's going to differ by college when you'll be able to make an appointment or at least, go into walk-in advising. So please check, the communications with your colleges directly. I do want to encourage you to attend all webinars if they are being offered by your college, because this is where you're going to find important information in terms of enrolling, in terms of using the tools, because right now we're also graduating students and we're getting ready for you. So we're not able to meet with everybody right this second, but as soon as the quarter starts, I promise you'll be able to get a walk-in or at least an appointment.
Sorry, go for it. Go for it.
Okay, and then the next question, does the portal offer a place that shows things that have been completed and things that still need to be done, like a checklist, to-do list? Okay, so it's not necessarily the portal, it's the degree audit. So once once admissions receives all of your transcripts, if you sent them in by the deadline, it should be personalized to you in the middle of August. And this is where you'll be able to see, okay, these courses transferred, these courses fulfill these requirements for my major, and it'll be personalized to you. So basically, yes, you get a personalized checklist that you're able to see, okay, this is what I have left, this is what I have completed. But in the meantime, you can also refer to the academic plans. And it kind of gives you a guide, but this is a general guide. So only use it as a tool now. And as soon as you get your degree audit, then please refer to that, as that's constantly updated. So even if you enroll in a class, it's going to show you what requirement it fulfills. So please be vigilant and monitor that.
The next question I'll address, it says, a student is asking if they're from a community college and how do the quarter sessions differ? So that's an excellent question. So most of you are, if you're coming from a semester system, whether it's a community college, a different institution, 4-year institution, semester to quarter system do differ quite a bit, right? So semester, you're looking at about, I think it's anywhere between 16 to about 16 weeks of at least coursework. And then there's about a week or two of final exams or time frame that's kind of built in. The quarter system is only 10 weeks long. So you get 10 weeks of instruction, and then there's the finals week, or technically it's at week 11, but we call it finals week. So it moves a lot faster. You're looking at midterms for some classes starting week 3. And for some classes, they go all the way to week 9, sometimes even week 10. So the point is, when you're in a quarter system, it is very important that you get off to a good start. And so it is attending classes during the week 0. We have a week 0 here during every fall quarter. So classes will begin on a Thursday, so it's Thursday, September 23rd, I believe, where it's a Thursday. If you have lecture that day, you're expected to attend. Same thing and then those are lectures. And then if your classes happen to have a discussion, that'll start the following Monday, the 27th. But it is important that you get started on a good note, because it's a lot faster. And again, this is not meant to scare you or to make you feel overwhelmed or anything like that. It's more just to kind of mentally prepare you for the how much more faster the quarter system can be. The other question I was going to address is if you have, so for student is asking if I have a hold from missing a deadline for one of, like in this case, a health forum, you still be able to view the enrollment time. So you can still view the enrollment time, you just won't be able to enroll in classes if you haven't cleared any holds. So for everyone, please make sure that you've addressed and make sure that you don't have any holds in your account, because there is no exceptions. There is no, can you remove it for a day or 2 while I enroll in classes? You must remove those holds before you're able to sign up for classes. Departments won't make any exceptions to that, and the colleges can't help you with that. So make sure that you clear all holds. Yes, you can still view your enrollment time, but you won't be able to enroll in classes until that has been cleared.
Okay, and Double major, yeah. So for those of you that are interested in double major, it certainly can happen. Some majors are capped, so keep that in mind that you'd have to apply to that major first. If the double major that you want to do is not capped, you can apply, but your first quarter you have to complete your first quarter so that you have your GPA and your grades, and then you're able to go ahead and apply for that double major. Please inquire that directly with both the college and also the major department specifically. Okay, and the next question, how can we check to make sure we are IGETC certified? Yes, definitely. So very important, right? You want to make sure that you send this in as soon as possible. There is no deadline to send it. However, the longer you wait, it could hinder what your planning purposes. You might end up taking courses that you don't need or duplicate courses, or you may be surprised and say, hey, I need more courses and I didn't anticipate for this. So first, check with your community college as soon as possible to see if you're IGETC certified or partially IGETC, and make sure that you sent in the appropriate paperwork. Some colleges require you, some community colleges require you to apply for the certification. Others, it may already show on your transcripts, and others don't. So it's very important that you triple check that you've met the IGETC certification there and that it gets sent here. So a lot of following up, it may take them 3 weeks and it might take us at least 3 weeks. So please get that done as soon as possible.
Okay, so I'll answer this question really quickly. So again, your registration appointment times will not be available until August 2nd. So that's when you can view those first. August 2nd on WebReg, which will be on Triton Link, right? So tritonlink.ucsd.edu. And then there's the Triton Links tools box, and then that's where you'll be able to view under WebReg. So August 2nd. The other questions I'd like to address. So on August 6th, we talked about getting an enrollment guidance, right? So what that is it's essentially a packet of information that's going to provide more guidance on the enrollment process, things to look out for, expectations for you to kind of set you up and make sure that you have either you can register for classes as needed. We aren't doing any recommendations for courses. However, again, as transfer students, you're already able to access your major departments. And I think that's very, very key because our first year students don't get that. So what we're saying is on the new student advising portal, you're able to ask questions at this point. So if you have questions about what classes to take, that's where you would be asking those questions at this point. Go in, search your department, and ask your question directly to the department. The department is then providing answers to you all the same way we are, right? So, and they're not automated messages. We are actually going in and answering the questions ourselves on a daily basis, right? So go in through there, search your department, ask your questions about what classes to take. They'll look at your records, at least what's available at this point, and they'll give some recommendations based off of that. So, and that's how you get your course recommendations for the fall. And you can technically do that for us as well, and we can try to guide you in terms of what GEs or general education requirements you can take. Another important note to make is admissions is working to post all of your records as soon as possible. So just note that for some of you, those are incomplete at this point. So you may see some coursework missing on there, or maybe no coursework at all in your academic history. That's because admissions is working on getting those posted as soon as possible. So just be aware that it may take some time to do that. But it should get posted by enrollment time if you submitted them by the deadlines that the admissions office provided. The other question I was going to address is how you can declare a minor. So if you're interested in declaring a minor, earlier I showed you on Triton Link, the major minor tool. It's the same area where you can access WebReg. You would go into that tool beginning fall quarter. You would search for the minor department, and you're going to list the classes that you plan to take for the minor. So that does involve you doing a little bit of research. That means looking up the minor requirements, looking what classes you're required to take, and if there are options, which classes you're interested in taking. And then listing those classes, and then you put your request through, and then the department will go ahead and review it. So it's a pretty easy process, but it does take some research on your end as well to make sure you're listing the correct courses.
Okay, so I'll jump into the next question. If we don't fulfill all major requirements in 2 years, are we still enrolled in school or do we get in trouble? Okay, so in terms of the colleges, right? If you still have major requirements, we're not going to make you leave. What happens is you'll need to do a completion plan, which is basically a quarter by quarter plan with major department. We'll review it. And as long as you still have courses to take, we won't make you leave if they're required for your major. However, you also want to plan accordingly and with ample time so that your financial aid or other resources, don't run out. So I advise you to work with us and work with your major department hand in hand so that we can, best plan, so that we can have the best plan for you and you don't need to stay here any more than you don't need to.
I think, let's see if there are any other questions or.
I think that might be most of the questions. Thank you so much, Lydia and Amado. Please help me in thanking them and just going over this information. If there are any remaining questions, please feel free to direct them our way. As a reminder, this session was recorded as well. So you can always access the information at a later time. So right now for all of our students, we have a break until 11 a.m. And then please check the CASP 101 website to check if your major academic advising session will be happening. If you notice that your major advising department is not listed as one of the sessions that is happening, you will be entering a session that we have for all students for the Career Services Center. So all of those links can be found on our CASP 101 website. I will stay behind in case there's any questions that'll be coming in, but thank you so much, Lydia and Amado. I really appreciate it.